Hello, my name is Ms.Hernandez, and I'll be reading you Wonder Unit Test. Part 1. Knowledge about wonder. Directions. Answer the following questions. Then, answer the open response question. 1. Who of the following best identifies as the main character of the story Wonder? A. Jack. B. Augie. C. Summer. D. Via. 2. What condition does Augie suffer from that significantly impacts his appearance? Mostly impacts his appearance, as in the way he looks. A. Asthma. B. A facial difference. C. A hearing impairment. D. A learning disability. 3. When Augie first starts school, how does he primarily feel about the experience? Or how does he feel about school in the beginning? A. Excited. B. Indifferent. C. Anxious. D. Angry. 4. Who is the character that becomes Augie's first friend at school? A. Julian. B. Jack. C. Summer. D. Miranda. 5. Which of the following people are not narrators in Wonder? Choose two whose perspectives are not shown. A. Julian. B. Summer. C. Jack. D. Via. E. Mr. Tishman. What concept does Mr. 6. What concept does Mr. Brown, Augie's teacher, emphasize to his students throughout the story? So what concept was most important for, for his students? A. Living by precepts and moral values. B. The importance of grades. C. Competition in sports. D. Achieving or gaining popularity. 7. In what way does Bia, Augie's sister, demonstrate or show her feelings for her brother? A. Jealousy. B. Indifference. C. Embarrassment. D. Protectiveness and love. 8. Which theme is most prominently explored, mostly shown, in Wonder? A. The significance of winning. B. The impact of friendship and kindness. C. The value of wealth. D. The difficulties of school life. 9. What event in the story significantly contributes or adds to Augie's acceptance among his classmates? A. The Halloween costume incident. B. The school trip. C. The science fair. D. The talent show. 10. By the conclusion of Wonder, what important lesson does Augie learn? Conclusion as in at the end of the book. A. He should change his identity. B. School is not significant. C. He should avoid forming friendships. D. Others' opinions do not define his worth. 11. Which of the following statements is the best summary of the main conflict or problem of Wonder? A. August Pullman is best friends with Jack Will, but they have a falling out when August discovers that Jack isn't really his friend. B. Olivia Pullman is an understudy for the lead role in the school play, but doesn't want her brother to attend the play. C. August Pullman and his friends were attacked in the woods by a group of older students. D. August Pullman was born with a facial difference and must navigate the challenges of attending school for the first time. Remember, you have to pick the main problem of the whole book. 12. Which of the following statements best explains why R.J. Palacio included multiple narrators or speakers throughout Wonder? A. She wanted her readers to realize how powerful it is to hear individual perspectives on the same story. B. She didn't want her reader to get bored by only hearing from August. C. She wanted to write a story with many different characters. D. She wanted her readers to focus on only one conflict in the story. 13. This is your writing portion. What is a possible theme in the book Wonder? Write a full paragraph and use at least 2 pieces of evidence to support your theme. That does include analysis. To write a paragraph, you need your claim, as in your theme, 2 pieces of evidence to support your theme, and of course your analysis for it to be a full paragraph. Here are some possible themes. Kindness can be. Summer was nice when. Friendship is powerful when people. Point of view is important because. These are themes and sentence starters for your themes. You may fill in the rest and complete your paragraph. Part 2. Cold read. Directions. Read the passage and answer the questions that follow. Grandma Ruth. Babe Ruth played baseball from 1914 to 1935 and was arguably one of the best baseball players of all time. He won 7 world championships, won 2 All-Star awards, and was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1936. A good quality baseball signed by Babe Ruth currently sells for approximately $40,000. Last night, I learned that my grandma was named after Babe Ruth, the greatest baseball player of all time. I learned this 6 hours too late. Yesterday, I wanted to work on throwing a baseball. I needed a baseball, as my brother wouldn't let me borrow his. Unfortunately, I knew right where one was. I tiptoed into my grandma's bedroom. Sunlight from the late morning sun filtered through the leaves of the dogwood tree outside the open window. I moved slowly through my favorite room in the house, which belonged to my favorite person in the world, my grandma. I reached into the back of her closet and pulled out a shoebox full of old baseballs wrapped in tissue paper. I shoved my hand in and grabbed the first one I touched. I threw off the paper and ran out into the yard with our dog, Bowie, who would always play a game of catch with me. We had a spectacular game of catch. By the end of our session, I was staring straight as an arrow, and Bowie was bringing it back as fast as it could. It was perfect. I went back into my grandma's room and wrapped the ball back up in paper, just like I'd found it, except now it looked dirty and used, like a good baseball should. At dinner, though, I heard the story. Have I ever told you I'm named after the greatest baseball player who ever lived? Grandma asked suddenly. James and I shook our heads. We leaned forward to listen. It isn't often we hear news stories from her. My grandmother stood up and walked into her bedroom. She came back with a shoebox in her hands. She sat down and started her story. So your great-grandfather was a dentist for the Detroit Tigers back in 1920s. His favorite player was Ty Cobb, the best player the Tigers have ever had. When Ty found out that your great-grandparents were going to have a baby, he brought your great-grandfather a big package of baseballs signed by the best-known players of the time, he said. Doc, you can have these under one condition. Name your daughter Tyrina after me. And my father, too excited to say no, agreed. When my mother heard about the story, she told my father to go to Ty Cobb and give him back the baseballs, because she had her own ideas for names. Ty just laughed when he heard this. He said to my father, Doc, I'll tell you what. Keep the baseballs, but name her after my good friend Babe Ruth. My father smiled and said, I'll see what I can do. Keep these for me until then. It turned out my mother loved the name Ruth. That's how I got my name, and how my father got these. He let Ty Cobb name me after Babe Ruth. I tried to swallow, but I couldn't. I hoped that she wasn't going to say what I thought she was going to say. Then she said it. In this shoebox, there are 10 baseballs Ty Cobb gave my father. They're signed by some of the most famous ball players in history, including one that has one single signature on it, Babe Ruth's. My grandma pulled out the ball, unwrapped it, and held it out for us to see. The ball was scarred almost beyond recognition. It had bite marks, dirt scruffs, and fraying red seams. Right in the middle was a big signature in black ink that I had somehow overlooked. It was smudged now and faded, but it still clearly said Babe Ruth. I began to shake inside. But my grandma just looked at the ball and smiled sweetly and said softly, "Even though it doesn't look like much, this ball has brought our family a lot of joy in its time. I remember when I was your age, Naomi. I almost rubbed the signature right off from tossing it up and down all the time. You see, I always felt that the baseball should be used for a lot more than looking. My dad, your great grandfather, used to say the same thing." She lowered her hand and gently tossed the ball toward Bowie, sleeping by the door. It rolled in a perfectly straight line and came to rest softly between the dog's paws. A perfect throw. 14. Which of the following sentences from paragraphs 13 and 17 show that Naomi is worried that has done something wrong? A. It turned out my mother loved the name Ruth. Paragraph 13. B. It hoped she wasn't going to say what I thought she was going to say. Paragraph 14. C. In the shoebox, there are 10 baseballs Ty Cobb gave my father. Paragraph 16. D. I had bite marks, dirt scruffs, and fraying seams. Paragraph 17. 15. Reread the following sentences from paragraph 17. My grandma pulled out the ball out, unwrapped it, and held it out for us to see. The ball was scarred almost beyond recognition, had dog bite marks, dirt scrubs, and fraying red seams. What is the meaning of the word fraying? A. Unraveling or worn. B. Woven or sewn. C. Polished or cleaned. D. Colorful and decorative. 16. Which detail from the text best explains why the author borrowed the baseball from her grandmother? A. I learned this 6 hours too late. Paragraph 1. B. Yesterday I wanted to work on throwing a baseball. Paragraph 2. C. I shoved my hand in and grabbed the first one I touched. Paragraph 4. D. We had a spectacular game of catch. Paragraph 5. 17. Which statement best summarizes the main idea of paragraphs 18 and 19? A. According to Grandma, the best baseballs to throw are old and signed by Babe Ruth. B. In Grandma's Ruth's opinion, it was careless to throw a valuable baseball to dogs. C. Grandma Ruth never plays with her Babe Ruth baseball. D. Grandma Ruth knows the author played with her old baseball and is not upset about it. 18. Why are paragraphs 11 and 16 important to developing the plot or the story of the passage? A. They tell a story that explains why the baseballs are important to Grandma Ruth. B. They describe a story about Naomi's great grandfather and his love of baseball. This is a typo. Sorry, guys. C. They tell a story that explains why Naomi decided to use the baseball to play catch. D. They describe how Grandma Ruth's father originally wanted to name her Tyrina. Do your best on this. I know you guys did a great job. You have a good day. Bye.